In order to complete the Cop Shop Challenge, a few rules must be followed. Full list is in the previous video, so please link in the description for that one. The entire point of the Cop Shop Challenge is to secure every single police station in the map. So far in the first few days, we've started off very well. 3 days in and we've gotten the basic needs for a base. Somewhere to sleep, fridge, freezer, food, TV, weapons. So far, I'm very confident. What I will need to do is build some walls. But my character, being a cop, doesn't really have any levels in carpentry. So in order to level up, I'll need to find some books. And that requires a lot of scavenging. Today is day 4. And it's going to be a bit of an easier one for me. I've identified a few things in the past few days. I've cleared out a few areas, and this has made it so much easier. So today, we're going to hit up the hardware store. There I found a bunch of good stuff, mainly just a bunch of axes, tools, stuff like that I'll need in the future. So, you best believe we're taking everything we possibly can. But since I was traveling light, I only took a few things this time, but it was in the back of my mind. Then I went across the road to the general store. There I found the general stuff. A whole bunch of food, a whole bunch of magazines, clothes, all of that sort of stuff, which is very good. Went out the back, and lo and behold, we found another vehicle. This was fortunate, and this vehicle was awesome. It's one of the Jeeps in the mod pack that I have. I have to admit, it's awesome. It's in the Steam workshop, just look up Jeep. So we drove that home, dropped off everything, and then decided to head back out due to us having another vehicle and pick up all of our tools. Did a little organizing. And now it is on to day 5. Now day 5 was very similar to day 4, and we will get that theme happening a lot from now on. Did a little bit of organizing and then we were out. I did the route that you're about to see on your screen right now, and essentially I went through the church, I went all around. We found a really cool Bowser for gas, which is an awesome mod as well. Don't really know what I'm going to do with that sort of stuff, but I think it's really cool that random houses can have that. After all the fighting, the looting, all the fun stuff, we head our way up towards the houses up the top, and there will be a lot of looting up there because there is one pesky item that I couldn't find. If you think you know what item that was, why don't you put it in the comments right now? Try and guess what item I couldn't find until I've looted every single house in the town. After a little bit of combat yet again, I finally found a generator. This was an awesome item. This is not the item that you would have put in the comments. Don't worry, that will be revealed at the end of the video. We brought the Jenny back home. We had a little rest. Days 6 and 7 were much of the same. We were just going around finding vehicles that we saw along the way that needed petrol. We found different things that we knew we needed to collect. We just went around to all sorts of places. The bookshop was involved. An amazing green Ford was found. By the way, great mod pack as well. And I finally started chopping down some trees so we can make progress on that wall. Once all the chopping was done and I was thoroughly exhausted, I decided to go back inside, organize a little bit, but mainly start reading one of those books. I needed to make sure my carpentry was up, and I needed to make sure that I wasn't wasting any XP when I started sawing logs. If you've done any carpentry before in Zomboid, those are some sweet, sweet levels you need to hold on to. As I completed the book, I think I got a little bit excited and started building. Realized I was tired, then went to bed. Building can wait for the next day. Yes, I did say next day. I should have said next week. It took an entire week to build the perimeter around my base. But we have to take into account that is carpentry, level 1 to 7. That's all the books included, and that's also all of the grinding included too. For the first few days I managed to knock down a bunch of the trees around the police station, but I needed to outsource. I needed to go further. This caused a lot of issues for the locals. Turns out Zeds don't like me chopping down trees and don't like me encroaching on their territory. So I did actually bring out the big guns, take out the AR, go for a little shooting spree. This happened over multiple days. I had to take it out just in case as I was chopping down trees, because friendlies would pop up, say hello, and want to give me a little cuddle, and I wasn't too fond of it. After I'd built the perimeter, I was doing quite well, but I needed that final level in carpentry. And we all know when we get up to level 6 to 7, it takes a little bit longer than just sawing a few planks out of logs. So I hit up the local church, knocking on the door asking for some help. I found it. The pews. Pews were glorious. They were almost an entire level. Other than that, I just went around a few houses, knocked on a few doors, took them off, and continued leveling up carpentry. I finally got back to the base, and I had achieved another item before achieving my perimeter. I had gotten the 300 kills necessary to tick off one of the rules of securing the location. I was very proud of myself for ticking off one of the milestones, and I had another to go. I was ready to fix that gate, and then I could move on to gardening, which was another very easy thing to tick off the list. I decided to add something else to the list as well. I wanted to ensure that all bases were covered when it came to water, so every cop shop will have a water barrel above a sink to ensure that it's always got water. This isn't technically a rule I'll add on, however it's something I'll do for this run. And so far, I've completed 3 tasks. I've killed all of the zombies in the area that I needed to. I walled all around the police station, built a fence, built a gate, and a door. I've put plots down to be watered and added a water barrel to ensure that there was always plumbed water in the police station. Now, can you guess what item I still need to get? Yes, that's right. I've started ticking off buildings I've looked for that generator magazine. Spoiler alert, it took me forever. I'll be completely honest with you. It felt like longer than 2 days, that's for sure. Day 16 to 18 is when I started looking for the generator magazine, and only looking for that. I pretty much found everything else I needed. I was pretty much ready to go off to the next adventure, but this held me back. I've never had an issue finding one of these magazines before. In fact, I've always chosen not to take any trait that gives you the ability to use generators, because I've always just found the magazine. But this time I really pondered taking it. Turns out I probably should have. But I did find it in the very last house we looked in. On the way there though, there was a lot of combat. I decided to ditch the guns for now because I couldn't find much ammo. I started breaking a few of the guns. And I noticed it was pulling in a lot more zombies than I needed right now because I've already hit 300. So I might as well just focus on my melee combat, level up my axes. It's going to be my main source of melee, so I might as well do that. I finally made it. It was literally in the last mailbox I looked in the last house in the town. I was so close to leaving the town, I was so frustrated, I wanted to pack it all in and just get bitten. But I didn't, I found it, and now we're on our victory lap, back to install that generator, and hopefully move on to the next town. Now, with all of my items done, the first town fully secured, cop shop level 1 complete, it was time for me to make a move on to the next destination. However, I wanted to do it properly. I wanted to be prepared so that when I land there, I can wipe out the enemies, take over, and move on within a week or 2. So this would probably be my slowest part of the journey. Preparation to leave. I tried to look for a vehicle that would take everything possible. An RV would be ideal, a bus even, but alas I could not find it. I originally found a trailer. Thinking the trailer would be enough to carry everything, I got excited, bought it back, and started having a look. although it wasn't quite what I wanted. So I decided to head up to a town up north, test my luck around that area, and maybe even hit up the army supply store there as well. I didn't quite hit the jackpot, but I was pretty lucky in that area. Finding myself a moving van, not yet able to hotwire it or anything myself, it's just my trailer for now. I then moved on to the army supply store, and I thought, hey, there's all these guns here, all of the equipment possible, why not take it? So I spent roughly 2 whole days looting and pillaging this army supply store to get every piece of ammo, every gun I could possibly think of. All mine, baby. I finally made it home. It was terrifying. There were a few nights where I didn't think I would live, but I made it home with all of the gear I could think of. I even bought myself a bed home. So I spent an entire day putting everything into the truck and picking which vehicle I would take to tow it along. I picked my white vehicle with 1 extra seat, decided more storage in the back is probably better than none. With everything loaded up, I was going to be on my way. Next destination is Rosewood. I believe that's probably the easiest one for me to take next, and it has a lot of good stuff to loot as well. If you've made it this far in the video, and noticed I've made it this far in the game, please, by all means, like the video. Comment down below if you're keen on doing this sort of thing or you've done it before. I might not be the first person to create it, but I love the rule set I've put in place. Let me know if there's any extra rules that you think would suit the cop shop experience. Please subscribe to get updates. Not only does it boost my channel, it also updates you when the video comes out, so you don't miss a thing. I've really been enjoying making these videos, so thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it. Remember to keep playing the games that you love and look after yourselves.